Okay, today I'm going to go over some basic techniques, starting with foot techniques, going to hand techniques, and a couple of joint locks. So if you remember that you have this sphere around you, this safe zone, and as long as your opponent doesn't come into your safe zone, you're fine. But once he does, you're in danger, and the closer he gets to you, the more danger you're in. So your first weapon or your first arsenal is your kicking arsenal, attacking his legs or his ability to come into your range. So the first technique I'm going to show you is the roundhouse kick. The roundhouse kick is designed to hit the legs. If I strike to the side of the leg here, I'm striking the nerve that runs along the leg. So I can strike to the inside, I can strike to the knee, but the idea is that I'm getting my hips to rotate over, and then I'm coming laterally this way, hitting with either my instep or actually my shin. Okay, so the roundhouse kick looks like this. Of course, if you have more flexibility, you can even hit as high as the head with it. But the roundhouse kick, right there. And remember, what's going to make these kicks good is doing them a lot. So do what I said. Get a tennis ball, poke a hole in it. Take a piece of nylon cord, tie a knot on it, poke that knot through the hole, and then wrap it up with some athletic tape, tie it up, and spar with it. It'll increase your accuracy, your speed, your flexibility, and make your techniques good. So again, here's the roundhouse kick. Okay, if he's out at a distance and he comes in, go ahead and back up. As soon as he comes in, that will take him right down. Okay, even if you're small and your opponent's a lot bigger, when you strike a nerve, it deadens the leg, and they're going to go down. Now the second kick's a little bit harder. This is a side kick. Now with a side kick, what you're doing is you have to rotate the hips over in order to have all the force generated by your body's momentum go down your leg. And the way you do that is to have the supporting foot pivot pointing backwards. So this camera angle doesn't really show. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see my supporting foot. But when this back foot comes up, this foot is going to rotate so that your hips align. You'll know that if your toes are kind of pointed up, your hips are not aligned. Your toes should actually be pointed down a little bit in order for it to be in perfect alignment. So again, the kicks are like punches. You have your front limb, whichever one is closest to your opponent, and you have the back one. They each have their own specific function. The front limb is like a jab. It's quick, it's halfway there, but it's not as powerful as the back. Anybody knows this, swinging a baseball bat, you swing it from back here so that your hips get into it. You don't swing it from out here where you have no power. But with kicking, you would use that front leg because it's quicker. It's halfway there. You can intercept your opponent. Then you use the back leg to deliver the power. So the side kick is also, a good long-range weapon designed to strike the legs. Of course, you can strike the midsection. You can even strike the face with it. So I kick with the front leg if I want speed, and what I tend to do is use this kind of a shuffling motion where I'm sliding in. I'm keeping my distance, and when I need to, I can cover that distance really quickly. So here's your side kick. Leg comes up, rotate over, hit with the heel. One more time. Right there, there's your side kick. Now front kick, your hips are straight to your opponent. As opposed to 45 degrees to your opponent, so you're my opponent, my hips are 45 degrees, that's your roundhouse kick or your side kick. But if my hips are straight to my opponent, coming right straight up and hitting with the ball of the foot, that's your front kick, right there. So this can be used for the midsection, it can be used for the legs. It can be used right underneath the chin. All right, so here's the three, your roundhouse, coming, swinging from the sides, kind of like a hook in boxing. Your side kick, straight in, hitting with the heel. Your front kick, right up, hitting with the ball of the foot. Now with punching, it's the same thing. Your front hand is halfway there. So you want to have your hands just like you're talking on two telephones. And it's important with throwing kicks that they don't move from that position. A common mistake with people who are beginning is that when they throw a kick, they throw their arms out to balance themselves. Practice not moving the head or the hands so that they don't telegraph your movement. They don't tell your opponent what you're going to do. So with these hands right here, your jab is going to come right from the chin, right straight out while this stays here. So it's very fast, and if it goes out 50 miles an hour, it comes back 100 miles an hour. So you want to snap it and snap it right back. But then when you rotate the hips, the backhand will come straight down the pike to a rear cross here. So 1, 2. So putting that together, your roundhouse kick or a side kick, jab, cross. All right? Of course, in closer range is elbows and knees, which are more powerful than your kicks and punches. All right? And generally, what you do with elbows and knees, after you have hit this guy, you grab on, and this is called a plum in Muay Thai, where you're locking your fingers and holding him, and then you start throwing the knees. Here. If you strike and he rears up, you could even let go so that you can come in with an elbow strike. So again, from long range, medium range, to close range. Now, even closer is joint locking. I'm just going to show you a couple of wrist locks, and it just depends on which hand is grabbing which hand. And it doesn't matter once you get the hang of how you do these, if the guy's grabbing your arm, grabbing your shirt, grabbing your coat, whatever. Throwing a punch, you can even intercept it and go into a wrist lock. But if he grabs my hand on the opposite, on the same side, which is an opposite grab, his right hand is grabbing my left hand. With all these, what you want to do is put your thumb on the back of his hand. So I'm going to put my thumb on the back of his hand, grab on, pull it off, bring my other thumb right alongside it so that I can pull the wrist and push the hand. Now it's important, if you can see this, that you don't put all these fingers in the way of the wrist, because then you can't bend it. Just a couple, and then you're going to pull this way. So with a grab that's on the same side, which is an opposite arm grab, I'm going to reach over, I'm going to put my thumb on the back of his hand, hook my fingers around the side of his hand, pull it up, get my other thumb right alongside it, and push. And with all joint locks, you don't want to muscle it. All you have to do is drop your own weight. If you kneel down, they'll go down. So let me show it on this side, maybe you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to reach over, put my thumb, peel it off, and push. Now, if he grabs opposite, so he's grabbing across this middle line, which also means that he's grabbing his left to my left. Move back up a little so we don't cut our heads off here. So he's grabbing left to left, or right to right. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm putting my thumb on the back of his hand, but now I'm going to wrap around the mound of his thumb. I'm going to peel up. I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to push it. So you're not taking this and just twisting it around like this. You're going to twist to the point to where you feel that the wrist can't twist anymore, and then you push forward. And again, if you just kneel down with it, he will go right down. Okay, so he grabs on. Put your thumb, grab the mound of the thumb, peel it off, and push. All right, even if you were to grab your lapel here, you can still do that same technique. Okay, so these will apply whether he's grabbing your clothes, throwing a punch, or whatever. Once you get used to how the wrist works. So here, Now I can actually rotate over. You can even make a drill out of this, where you're going from this one, bring it back, reach over top, put your thumb on, pull it up, push, pull it back, reach over, grab, and you can go back and forth. Getting a sensitivity of that wrist. You have to get the feel of where it stops, where it cannot go any further. And the thing about joint locks is that once they get to that point, the person's going to give up because he can't withstand the pain of cartilage tearing or ligaments tearing. So that's the mechanics of martial arts here. But the most important thing is if you understand that it doesn't matter if you're short, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, it doesn't matter if you don't weigh much or if you weigh a lot, no matter what the offense, there is a way for you to deal with it. It doesn't mean you'll always figure it out, but there is a leverage point, or there's a way that you can manipulate the situation to your own advantage. Those rules apply everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're going for a college degree, you're going for a job, promotion, whatever. Whatever the obstacle in your life, instead of thinking, I'm a victim, think that there is a way where you can apply leverage and get the desired outcome. So hopefully that helps, and I hope you enjoyed it.